Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Be You with Monique. I'm your host, Monique Pfeiffer. Today, I wanted to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. And this subject really came about from a situation that I was exposed to. Now, one thing about me is I really believe in showing up as my authentic self. I really try very, very hard, no matter what the situation is, no matter what I'm going through, to be the authentic Monique. And I was taken aback by a situation that I was in. And I said, oh, this would be a really good topic to discuss with my listeners. So I hope you'll find some value out of this. I know I learned something about myself from the situation. And today we're going to talk about boundaries. Now, I know a lot of us have talked about boundaries. People have heard other people say, set your boundaries, set those limits with people, protect yourself. But from that, one of the things that came to me from the situation that I was in is guard your heart gate. Guard your heart gate. And that's what we're talking about today. So when we think about your heart, we think about literally the vessel that pumps blood in and out of our bodies. But I really wanted to take it from a metaphorical standpoint. Our heart, it's the place where our emotions lie. It's the place where things that matter to us really show up. And then when we think about a gate, I know for me, I think about something to protect, something that keeps things out that I don't want in, or things in that I don't want to get out. So when I think about a gate, I think about my little dog Pepper Jack. If I didn't want Pep to get out, I would set a gate up, not just for myself, but to protect him too, because he doesn't know the dangers that are on the other side of the gate. So you're probably saying, well, Monique, what does that have to do with boundaries? Well, just, listen a little bit and hopefully I'll put everything together for you. When I think about my heart and when I think about a gate, when I'm being my true authentic self, I am truly a giver to my core. A giver to my core. I'm a helper to my core. I affectionately call myself a servant leader because I truly want to see people do well. I really want to see people go to their true potential in life. So if I see a need, my natural Monique Pfeiffer is to help. If I see a want, my natural Monique Pfeiffer is to see, let me lean in and see how I can be a support. Well, that can be dangerous. And when I say that, I say it because some people can take advantage of that. And unfortunately, I have been taken advantage of over the years of my life because I am open to help others, right? And it's my best friend who's like that watchdog. She's not literally a dog, but she's really that person who's like, hey, friend, you sure you want to do that? Hey, friend, you know your heart's big. Hey, friend. And it's so good to have people who you trust to keep you, quote unquote, safe, right? Remember what the analogy I use, if a gate is to protect things from getting in, and it's to protect things from getting out. So having those individuals in your life to help protect me from giving too much out, right? And going through the situation, I mean, it wasn't a horrible situation, but you know how you go through things in life and you're just like, that could have been worse had I been in a different position. That could have been worse had I not taken a step back and analyzed the situation. So, what I want to share with you all today is the importance of pausing. So, if you're a natural giver like myself, you don't pause. You just like, how can I help you? What do you need? If you're a natural person to show up, put your cape on and fly in and save the day, maybe you're not always supposed to save the day. Because one thing that I do know is sometimes the blessing is in the process. The blessing is in learning from the experience of going through the situation that you're going through. And oftentimes, if I'm always trying to save your day, when do you learn from the situation? You really don't. You'll become dependent. Let's get back to this heart and let's get back to the gate and boundaries. Setting boundaries is not, it's very important for you to really protect your emotional well-being. It's important for you to have that self-respect for yourself. It's important for you to have those healthy relationships. And when you're not guarding, when you're not putting up that gate, people really can take advantage of you. And when you've been taken advantage of, it will cause you, and I'm talking about over and over and over again. And I know there are some people who can relate with me. I always show up and I always do this for people. And where are people for me? Or here's another person who's taking advantage of me. Here's another person who's not being there for me. I'm always there. Who's there for me? Is it really the person's fault or is it yours? If you're showing up in the world as the go-to person, people are going to come to you. If you're showing up in the world as the save the day guy, people are going to call on you to save the day. They're going to assume that you have everything together. They're going to assume that you have the answers because you always have. They're going to assume that you don't need support because you are the supporter. They've never seen you down because you never allowed them to see that about you. You've raised your head up high. You've gone through life and put on the appearance that everything is okay when it really wasn't. And now, for some, you're burnt out. You're even a little angry because now when you've hit rock bottom, there's nobody there for you. You've opened that gate for the world to come in and receive from the heart. You know, that heart gives the love, the heart gives the nurturing, the heart gives the support. And now that heart is empty because you didn't protect your gate. It doesn't mean the people who showed up and was taking, quote unquote, taking from you were mean people, were vicious people. But I know you've heard the saying, you teach people how to treat you. You've taught people that your gate is open. You've taught people, come in, I'll help you. Because honestly, if you're anything like me, you get value for helping other people. You do. You feel like it's purposeful and it's a part of who you are until you hit the bottom. And literally, you have your SOS going out, but no one hears it because they think it's a prank. Oh, Monique's never down. Sheila's never down. Jason's always got it together. Pete, you know he must be joking because they have always been your support. Guarding your heart gate. Guarding your heart requires a gate. And it's up to you to install the gate. Now, I will tell you, installing a gate can be very difficult, can be very challenging, can be time consuming, can be frustrating. But once that gate is up, unless you give somebody the key, they're not getting in. Unless you give somebody the key, they're not getting out. The one thing that I don't want you to take from this conversation today is to set up gates and just have the world out. We all need connection. We are human beings and we need that connectivity with other people. It's important just for our own livelihood. We thrive from connections. We thrive from community. That's the way it was set up. But as you are putting in place the gate that you never had, don't do it with vengeance. Don't do it with anger. Do it for necessity. And now you're going to have to change how you show up for other people. And you have to be willing to let them know that you need help, that you need support, that you need a shoulder to lie on. But we've never allowed ourselves to be vulnerable enough to show that until now that we've hit rock bottom. But I am here to tell you today, rock bottom is not the end. I am giving you strategies to pull yourself up. And the first way that you do that is acknowledging that you do need help. Acknowledging that you were thriving from the fumes of helping others. It is a part of your authenticity. However, being your authentic self can still cause burnout. If you do not place the right self-care practices in place, you will get burned out. Because what I learned from my own self is I'm a natural leader, I'm a natural giver, I'm a natural go-to person. But I also have to be willing to say, sometimes I need someone to lead. Sometimes I need someone to give. Sometimes I need someone to be there for me. But that causes me to be vulnerable. And that vulnerability feels very uncomfortable. It's really allowing people in the gate from a different area of the gate. See, when you have a gate built, sometimes there's that front entrance, there may be a side entrance and a back entrance. Sometimes there's only one entrance. But for this conversation, I'm talking about multiple entrances into your gate. When they have that frontal entrance, that's what you're very familiar with and you're comfortable with. The side entrance is the entrance to that soft spot of you, that part of you that you don't really let anybody see. And no one's opened up that gate for so long that it's kind of rusty. The lock on it is rusty because you're like, nope, you can come in the frontal, but you can't get in the side because the side is that vulnerable side of me. That side of me that I'm not willing to really share with others. And I'm not even saying that you have to. But what I am saying is you have to take off the mask that you can do it all. You have to take off the mask that you're everything because you're not. I'm not. And truth be told, I hate when people see me really vulnerable. They don't like it. But I'm getting over myself and I'm allowing myself to open up that side gate to who I truly am and having a willingness for those who are deserving of seeing that part of me to see that. Because everybody doesn't deserve the vulnerable side of you. I am a firm believer that everyone does not deserve that. So let's recap. We talked about setting boundaries. And the reason why we set boundaries is because we have to guard our hearts. Our heart is that emotional place that we have, that giving, the loving, the nurturing part of us. But because we are natural in that capacity, we must put a gate of protection on who can have entrance into that space, into all the giving and the nurturing of who we are. We also have to understand that sometimes there's a necessity of not allowing everybody to have that entrance, because you need your cup filled back up. When you're giving out so much over and over and over and over again, someone needs to fill that cup. And having the understanding that that cup needs to be filled really shows another part of us, that side gate, that vulnerable side. We have to have the ability to allow the right persons to have entrance into that vulnerable side of us, where we can truly take the mask off and truly be ourselves. Be careful who you allow to have access to that part of you. But in everything that you do, be willing to always be you, because it's in that authentic you is where love is, joy is, peace is in the authentic you. I thank you for listening today. It is my hope that I said something that would transform something within you. But if you don't remember anything that I said, I hope you remember to guard your heart. Until next time, my friends, this is Monique Pfeiffer with Be You. I sure hope you enjoyed the podcast today. If there was something that inspired you, encouraged you in any way, I hope you will subscribe, follow, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, be you.